that I kind of remember the day, but I have a real strong feeling about having the realization that this is kind of what led me to yoga, but it was that the problem with truth is that not that it's not discoverable, it's that there's too much, right? That it's kind of overwhelming, actually. And especially if your mind tries to follow it, right? Or to be aware of it, right? And in some ways, the limitations of mind is exactly what attracted me to yoga. Not to yoga teaching, right? But to yoga. Is that there are experiences that are here that are best left to be experienced without mediating mental judgment, right? So sit up straight and tall. Can I make, what's happening here? That's one of the big questions, right? In a yoga pose, I guess in everything, but what's happening here? And in some ways, what yoga is about, and particularly what an asana is about, is what's actually happening in your experience in a way that includes your body, not just where your body's being directed. So one of the great things that I love about yoga is that I've been on a lifelong exploration of trying to figure out what it is that my body's teaching my mind, right? Not so much vice versa. Right? It's so easy for the mind to sit there on its perch and like judge what it thinks it knows, right? But there's a whole other realm of stuff that is coming the other direction. The problem, the ways that the body teaches the mind is through sensations, and the sensations themselves lack context. So my mind doesn't always know how to apply them, right? So my classes are so much about trying to appreciate the context of the ways in which my body's showing my mind other possibilities, not just in what I can do, but in what's already happening. So just to keep reiterating about the class, as you're sitting up straight and tall, and I hope you've continued the practice of how do you smile in a way that goes from the emptiness, that activates the emptiness in the center of your chest and connects it as the same pose to the outside of your lips, of your mouth going up towards your ears. What has to be the case for a smile to come through the body more directly? Right? So I know it sounds so, first of all, I always try, before we center here, I always try to, because I think this theme is important. I always try to explore how to do it wrong. So before we fully center, I want everyone to smile, but make it a little fakey, right? Fake your smile. Oh yeah. Right? Oh yeah, I know that one. The one where I overdo my facial muscles, everything's actually out of balance. It has nothing to do with anything that has to do with yoga, right? And then back up for a second and go, I wonder why they're always telling me to soften the inside of my mouth. And I'm just not just saying me telling you that. I mean, I've been trying to figure that out for 32 years now. What's going on? And the stillness that I get when I actually put my lips together, teeth slightly apart, you can say it all sorts of ways, right? And it doesn't have to be that way. But when I let there be lightness on my lips, so the touch is like my fingertips on something really gentle, and my tongue doesn't kind of know where to be in space, and And I start going, hey, holy crimes, that's an expression of the top of my spine. All this mechanism right here is actually located next to my spine. Wait, so if this is about my spine too, if my mouth is somehow a reflection of my spine or an expression of my spine, well, maybe I better find the other edge of the spine, the bottom side. So I'm going to start feeling my sits bones. All of a sudden, the pose starts to right itself. All from the fact that I'm starting to pay attention with gentleness, right? Here. All of a sudden, I see it as my spine. I got to get the bottom. I know I need grounding. I know I need earth here, right? But then wait, there's a connecting part. So a lot of times I teach asana as if you have to be aware of 3 parts of your spine, make it the bottom, the top, and the middle, right? And call the chest the middle, right? So now I'm going to try to keep all 3 of those in line with each other and keep sensitivity and awareness. Now I'm going to just so slightly move my chest up because I want to let air in. I want the world to come through my spine. And I'm going to see if I can immediately recognize its connection to my mouth. The only way I can do that is if I feel my sitting bones. Holy cow. You mean to smile with the center of my chest and my mouth, I have to feel my whole spine? Yeah, I love that. And I get to breathe? Are you kidding me? There's a movement in this connection? The inhalation and the outside of my mouth are actually connected? I could put my hands in the center, either on the table or into prayer, and find a midline in the middle of this miraculous happening that's coming from inside to out, starting by softening my mouth. You mean I get to follow here? I get to follow sensations? Just for a second, for all of that, I might be slightly grateful. Maybe a little gratitude here and make that part of my pose. And then making sure I feel the midline. I want to be connected to the empty space in the room. And suddenly, from softening my mouth, everything's already happened. Seems like a good thing to practice. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow too. Let go of your day. Prepare your mind to do yoga. Repose. Redo it. Let your body show you the stability that keeps the mind calm. Good. And then release, take your sternum up toward your chin and your chin down over your sternum. We have done a lot on this simple action in the last couple of months. Notice the breath into each nostril, into each lung. Feel each sitting bone. Feel the bottom of each foot. Oh my goodness. It's all connected. I think I might smile. Good. And then raise your head up with closed eyes and open your eyes. So I know it sounds kind of barfy that, oh my God, everything's a smile and blah, right? But when I actually am honest at that level, when I actually feel the whole of what's happening here, all of a sudden it brings into relief all the reasons why, all the folly, I would say, of why I'm not smiling. It's like, really? Whatever I think is going on in my life, that somehow it's more foundational than what just happened? I don't think so. That's where you start to, even a centering, a smiling centering shows me where my attachments are stuck. That's on me as a practitioner to recognize where I'm stuck, such that I'm not being congruent with what's happening. I'm actually in other places. Like I've been lately having way more physical pain, right? And it's like, whoa. And I'm ready to be stuck there over and over again. It's like, really? Is that really where I want to be stuck? I don't know. Hands together, lean forward. Remember, we did this whole class on headstand about the importance and the weight on the elbows, right? So already I'm pushing down on my elbows. Notice that I didn't mean this as a metaphor, but half of me is in the sunlight and half of me isn't, right? Interesting, right? And so, but as soon as I hit down with my elbows onto the table, I want to have it go all the way up through my chest. And then I'm going to figure out how to coordinate length on the front side of my chin. So I'm going to drop. Here I go into the chateau, right? Now I'm going to hit down with my elbows up, make space even here, drop my shoulder blades, bring my hands together, however you're doing it. And I would love for some of you that were here last week to remember the headstand class, for God's sakes. Wait, the headstand class? Wait, I'm going to release now for a second and then go back and go, oh yeah, the headstand class, where all of a sudden I inverted the world, right? And I talked about all this stuff about, oh, so I'm going to lean back a little bit and go, oh yeah, the headstand class. And then I'm going to take this space as I go back over my wheelchair just a little bit. I'll go back just a little bit. And I'm going to come back forward, keep it long, bring my hands together, feel my elbows, engage my arms, my elbows, right? And make sure I'm feeding this space right here by how I'm having my arms. Wait, I'm going to try that again. I'm going to take this lengthening spine space on the front of my spine, right? This lengthening. I'm not even calling it a back bend. I want the skin to open up, right? I'm going to go up and go, oh yeah, my skin's part of this, right? Wait, my skin is part of this opening. I'm just leaning back over my chair. I'm going, oh my goodness. And then I'm going to take that, I'm going to come forward and come back forward and figure out how to have my hands and reference. I'm looking at Angelique's dad and I really want him to have a table or use your lap or something, like find a way so we can get your elbows on something, right? I'm so glad you're here, Mr. Angelique. I'm glad you're here. All right. So All right. So, but what I'm trying to get is that this lengthening on the front side of my spine, combining with the grounding of my elbows and the sensation on my hands. Huh. Now that I've talked about it so much, for God's sakes, I got to do it again. Got to go back up and over. Oh, here's that length again. I'm going to try to not just keep the physical length, but I'm going to keep the sense of lightness and opening. Come forward again onto my base and recreate it here. Even though I'm forward and I'm not up and over my chair. Remember, one of the weird things I was trying to teach last week was your relationship to prana is arbitrary. Anyone remember that line from last week? I didn't mean to knock Angelique out of the picture. Angelique, you're still good. Yay. All right. I think we should have a family day and everyone bring a family member if you got one or someone in your house. Oh, I think so. Expose them to the weirdness that is me. Yeah, it'd be good for you. And Laura Hallis, I wanted to be one of your nieces or nephews. Yeah. All right. So I'm actually trying to feel this connection. Now I'm going to do something I did last week. Instead of being like, as I'm trying to keep my chest open, my hands together, I hope you've already been made to use your legs to do this. Hope you've already figured that out. To do it well, you have to go down and up and all that stuff, right? Now, I want you to make your elbows on the table heavy. Dumb. Make it not yoga. There, make it not yoga, right? So now what I want is how to activate these bones. Again, I'm talking smack here. These bones and the lift in my chest. So my bones and my skin start to work in sync, right? So I'm going to go back again and try to remember this feeling, this lengthening feeling on the front part of my spine, right? It's like, oh my God. And then can I keep, it's kind of fun. I hope you kind of almost want to do something like this. Like, get it? Like, oh my God, I get to be wide open here. And now this wide open space has to stay with me as I come forward, right? And keep it here. All these things I've been trying to get you to do. Oh my goodness. You mean you want the connection between your bones and your hands? Yeah. And now instead of making my elbows on the table heavy like I'm falling too fast, I want to actually make the bones be lighter. So I'm going to push down on my elbows and make it be compressed, right? And as soon as I do that, as soon as you go down the elbows, can you feel the front side of your chest drop? Like the energy just got lost, the skin got lost. So remember, and then release. I'm trying to get you to get the opening of the skin here and the way your elbows are on the table to be connected. Okay, so I'm gonna feel it again because I'm gonna let the yoga teach me, the asana teach me. Here's the space. Now, when I come in down onto the reference, I want to activate my bones and my elbows in a way that allow for the freedom of the skin on my palms, on my hands. I want it all to be connected. And don't undersell the subtlety and the miraculousness of your nervous system that can coordinate stuff like this. It totally can. The human nervous system is miraculous. So all of a sudden, I'm making all of this come in. But then I forgot to smile, right? I'm working so damn hard, trying to do things that don't make sense. Wait, you mean the edges of your will should be softer? the edges of your focus should be softer, not just focused hard and grinding. As soon as I start to grind, the skin on the front of my chest is lost, right? I'm having to figure out how to balance a whole bunch of things. Good, and then release. So I read a line this weekend in an email that someone sent me, and it was a quote from John O'Donohue. And he was quoting another writer, a guy named Kavanaugh or something like that. But the line that I can't get over is that wonder and compassion are sisters. Freaking love that line. This yoga class is trying to show you how they might be sisters. Okay, here I come back again. So I've been trying to and I hope your mind's not too fatigued by all the instruction in front of the spine and smiling and all these different threads that I'm putting together, right? I want you to be in awe. I want your awe to include your body. And I want you to get there. I want you to be soft. I want you to have compassion. All of a sudden, the idea that the edges have to be softer is maybe the essence of compassion, and maybe wonder isn't judgmental. So now I'm doing what I think is a simple yoga pose. I'm using some will, I'm using some effort, I'm using some clarity, but it's in service of wonder. And maybe it makes me in love with the world just this much more when I do it all together. And maybe that makes me smile. Compassion's not a burden. It's full of wonder, not just moral obligation. Bethany, if you're on the call, Compassion's Not a Burden is the name of the class. All these things from a smile and a chest smile. My practice is trying to show me how compassion and wonder are sisters. All right, let's get busy. More yoga now. Make this smaller again so I can. All right. Got to see the time. So I want you to lean forward and jump just a little. So if you're not paralyzed, this jumping that you're doing is not what I want. So I don't mean you to literally jump. I kind of do. But I want you to come forward and from the bottom of your sitting bones, go up through the top of your spine, right? But I want you to coordinate it with how you're lifting your body a little bit, right? So this is one of the hardest things this is how Joe Daly, if you guys know who Joe Daly is, this is how he learned to transfer as a quadriplegic, right? Is to be able to coordinate weird stuff, right? So what I want you is to come forward, right? And those of you, so in a way, those of you that can actually feel your sitting bones all the way are at a disadvantage, right? I feel bad if you're, quote, more able-bodied than me, right? So what I want is when you start to initiate a movement, I want you to try to do it from the sitting bones up through your mouth And then as you push down and up, I don't want you to not include your sitting bones, right? I want the activation to not just be physical, the way the world we normally live in. I want it to be forward, up, because I want the length. So, you know, like a spring or an accordion, I want your low back to start to feel a different kind of more playful length. So here's me just doing it physically, like going up, right? I want to come forward, bring my elbows in, lift my sternum, and then make sure that I'm taking my sitting bones up through my mouth as I do this action, right? So, and as you do this again, and make it be about your spine, at least I can tell you, I can notice the bottoms of my feet more, but that's not the focus, right? So I'm trying to coordinate, and the length I'm making in my low back, right? Trying to show you the accordion part of your spine, right? I'm just doing a couple repetitions, and I'm not just doing the repetitions from my arm strength. I'm trying to include my spine as an actor, right? And then release. And I got to change my hand position because I'm falling in love with doing it one way and not the other, right? Because I'm a good yogi, goddammit, right? I know to do both sides. So I've got one hand in different positions, right? So I got to switch. I'm trying to get this length, right? And as I get to the apex, I want to bring my sitting bones more up through my mouth, right? Then I'm going to switch back and forth. And then switch back and forth. And now, instead of thinking my arms are acting on my spine, I want my spine to act through my arms, right? So I don't even care if you can lift up or not. That wasn't the point. The point is coordination, integration, right? And then release. So all these different weird instructions are to try to create a sense of wonder. If I just make this physical, and you know, I'm going to do it to myself, but what I'm about to do is an act of violence, right? I'm just going to do it physically. I'm not going to include my sitting bones. You can try this if you want to like do violence to yourself, but like I'm going to remember the world that I'm trying to walk in a bigger world than the physical one, because my nervous system has access to different qualities of energy here. And what I mean by physical is the one where that happens, right? So I'm going to go back to just doing, oh, I did it too well there, for God's sakes. It's really hard to do it wrong once you start to do it differently, right? So I'm just going to, right? I'm going to go back to that damn world that when I'm tired at the end of the day, or when I'm mad at people, right? I just kind of throw myself into moving my, oh, see, did you hear the cracks in my shoulders right there? I moved like as a disjointed idiot, and I just cracked my shoulder, right? Wonder and compassion are sisters. Keep the wonder in your movements, right? You want to practice self-compassion? Practice wonder, right? You want to practice compassion in the world? Everything's moving. Here's me trying to like show the energy. It's coming in, I'm pulling it through, it's coming up my spine, and I'm going out. What kind of gibberish is this? I don't know. It's to get my wonder of how to have more. So I'm pulling energy in here. I'm going this way. I'm going out. I'm lifting up. I'm making my arm movement include my center of my chest. And I'm going out, and I'm doing it again. Here's the drop. Here's the shadow. Here's me thinking I'm in charge of everything. Here's me thinking it's all about my mind. Here's me thinking that, oh, wait, it's not just about my spine. Here comes my mind. Here comes my spine. It comes out. Here's the collapse. Here's the wonder. Can I keep the wonder as part of my collapse? I think I can. I think I'll keep this open even as I collapse. And then out again. And then the other way, I'm gonna pull energy out. There's me, like, I could say some barky things like tickle the sky, right? I kind of mean it though. Right? What the hell? Why wouldn't I? Maybe I'll turn my head this time. Huh. Then I'll try not turning my head and turning it straight ahead. And then I'll get a better stretch right here, right? But now I want my whole spine to do it. I'm turning. I'm getting bigger in space. Good. And then release. And then gonna go the other way. I'm gonna turn my head this way. Ooh, I don't know about you. I'm super tight through here. So when I turn my head straight forward, I feel a different quality of stretch, right? I'm gonna open and go, oh, there's my spine. Thank God for my spine. Turn my head again, watch how gravity changes. Right now we're learning why you turn your head in Trikonasana, but no worries, don't worry about it. Good. And so we're gonna go the first way. And now we're gonna try to coordinate breath. Building, we've got little like Legos and we're building poses from wonder out into expansion, right? So I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna think, as I do it and I'm pulling them, coming in, here's the center line, I'm lengthening, I'm opening. Dang, that feels like you would want to be connected to an inhalation, right? So it's like, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna lengthen my spine. I'm gonna start to open. I'm gonna inhale. I'm gonna let myself exhale while my arm's still up. I'm gonna inhale. And then I'm gonna exhale back down. I'm gonna land here and find my midline. I'm gonna take a breath. I'm gonna shift gravity. I'm gonna pull the energy in this way, open it out on an inhalation. Right? And then take a breath. And then after the next inhalation, I'm gonna come down. So I don't know about you, so like something just got curious. My yoga student in me just got curious. And so I'm gonna practice something. I'm gonna do the same thing on an inhalation, thought slowing down. As soon as I do the inhalation, I don't know about you, I wanna turn my head, right? I can feel it. So and then back down. So I like to show myself what's wrong before I realize what's right. So this time, I'm gonna take my arm up, I'm gonna keep my head straight ahead. Don't do this if it feels like not good to you, because this is about to not feel good to me, but I'm making what not feels good to be part of my yoga practice, right? So I'm gonna keep my head here, even as I inhale. And then back down. And I'm gonna try it this way, I'm gonna lean over this way, I'm gonna keep my head in here, and inhale up. And then I'm gonna go back and go like, well, that's not like wrong, but it doesn't seem as fun. So this time I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna turn my head and inhale. Right? And then I'm gonna come down. And then I'm gonna turn my head and inhale. And then come back down. Now I wanna blow your mind, right? You know, when I keep my head here, right, hopefully you can tell this in your own practice, but if you can't, trust me for now, right? When I do this, as opposed to this, when I do this, something is lost still. That something was gained when my gaze stayed here, right? This is more fun, but I left something behind. So a yogi's always asking, what did you leave behind? Right? And so it's like, huh. And so I'm going to try it again, keeping my head here. Well, actually, I'm going to go with it. That's fun. Right? Now I'm going to like not turn my head. That's not quite as fun, but what did I gain here when I didn't turn my head? And do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to watch and go, I like that. I'm going to come back. I'm going to keep my head here. Not quite as fun, but what am I gaining? Right? And then come back. And then ask myself the damn question, how can I combine both? Okay. Here's an idea. So when I do it that in the way that seems more fun, right, where I turn my head and inhale, the whole time, now this is where I'm just making crap up right now, okay? But it actually works. I've done stuff like this for myself before. When I want to include the grounded part of my back body, now let me say those words again. When I want to include the grounded part of my back body, okay, so what do I mean by that? So what I'm saying is that when you're here and you just move your arm, there's a grounding part that you're leaving behind when you do this whole thing, right? But I want to keep the grounding part, and I know that it has to do with my back body. So when I turn, I'm going to pretend that I have vision coming out the, pretend or do it, I think probably do it, that I have vision coming out the backside of my head. Okay, that I literally have, there's a line of energy that even when my head turns is going down this way towards the earth, right? So here I go. So when I go up and I inhale, right now I better open these eyes right back here. And it actually would be behind your shoulder blades too, right? But let's just start with the head, right? And I'm going to make sure that I open those eyeballs on the back of my head as I inhale and bring the arm up. And I turn my head. So right now, although I'm having my eyeballs and my vision go this way, I'm trying to touch the earth from behind my head as my head's up. Good, and then release. I hope you're getting a little uncomfortable because this is weird, right? So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to inhale. I'm going to follow with the joyful part of my vision as I turn my head, right? And then back. But I want to prepare that now I've got to open the eyeballs on the back of my head, right? And I want vision to be looking of vision. Oh no, call it third eye vision. I don't know. That's why those crazy yogis have different kinds of vision, right? I want a kind of vision going from the back of my head this way. So I got to prepare the eyes to open on the backside. I'm going to inhale, turn my head. The whole time I'm extending out the backside of my head. And then I'm coming back. Okay, thumbs up if this helps at all. Anybody? Isn't this freaking crazy? I can't believe shit like this. Wonder and compassion are sisters. Don't actually think you have to try harder to do it. No, 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 no. It's not, having vision out the backside of your head is not an efforting thing. It's not. It's wonder. And when you get it that way, you'll be less violent in poses. We're going to try it again. So I'm going to try to get it all here. But now I hope you figured out that it's not just the back of your head. It's actually your whole back body. The grounding coming out the back side of the body is part of what we're trying to maintain. So I'm sitting here. I'm getting ready. Inhale, turn my head, keeping the back side the whole time, allowing it. Oh man, if I take my head back, it's kind of attracted to what's behind me. And as I get energy moving this way, it gets lighter moving in the opposite direction. What? Are you kidding me? Something I'm learning right now. As I let the backside of my head fall this way, this part of my shoulder opens up better. Okay, so I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go the other way and go keep the backside, the direction that I don't get to see, but I can sense, to be integrated into my pose. Good, and then release. So now, this is one of my true weaknesses as a teacher, becomes more and more evident. I want to keep adding crap to this. I should be nice to you and just say, oh no, that's all we're going to do. No, we're going to add a whole other layer. Because you only going to figure this stuff out if you practice. So I'm going to force you into a question. Let me think how to ask this. Are you able to see or return to the vision that's coming out the backside of your head better on inhalation or exhalation? What? What are you talking about? Breathing in the back side of my head and the front side of my head? Don't forget, a return is happening to the earth on exhalation, right? So let's try it. So now, one of the ways that I'm trying to, you could call it imagination, but I think it's prana, whatever, we can argue all day long. But I'm trying to get that, as I'm trying to reach out the backside of my head, I'm trying to get you to make the energetic connection to the exhalation to see the backside, right? So here we're going to try. You're going to turn your head. You're going to make it fun, right? You're going to try to have the eyeballs open here on the backside of your spine, right? And now as you inhale, now as you exhale, I want you to emphasize the part that's behind you, the vision from the backside of your head. And notice when you do that, you'll reach farther to the sky. We're always returning to the earth. So in the return to the earth, do you think you should use your will? Or should you let it be a surrender? All right, here we go again. Inhale up. So it's not just a lift of your sternum, right? It's an exhale return towards the earth to get the vision to look behind you. Good, and then release. So, you know how I got some of this stuff is when I heard a line from Biggest Enga or read it where he said, every skin, every cell has eyeballs that's looking in every direction at once, right? So as I sit here and I'm back to centering for a second, I want to think about having vision, not just this kind of vision, right? Vision in every direction as I'm in the room. Every cell breathes. Every cell has eyeballs. Now I'm going to notice my breath. So try hard. I'm going to give an absurd instruction. Try harder to see in every direction. That would be a joke, right? You'd have to surrender to see in every direction. Compassion and wonder are sisters. The only way that I can have vision in every direction is through compassion. It can't be through effort. So I'm sitting here centering. Trying to do what my spine already does. My spine already emanates energy in every direction. So it's whether my mind can get on board. The body teaches here. The full nervous system beyond your mind is what's teaching now. So then feel the instruction, balance your head over your neck. Find where your sitting bones are. Why would we emphasize alignment? All right, and then release. So again, here comes another layer, damn it. The good news is you don't have to understand the layers, you just have to be able to do them. So because Iyengar was asked a question about how do you develop your concept of alignment, and he drew an analogy to water inside a jar. And he says this in other ways in terms of light, but you get in more alignment so the water can hit the inside edge of all the jars on every space, right inside the jar. And so light on yoga, not just illumination, but light is supposed to hit every pore. But my mind isn't ready to have every pore, right? And my mind's going to say, well, you don't know how to have light in every pore. You're dumb. You're not worthy, right? Except, wait, if I let my body be my teacher, so sit again and allow every direction. Stay centered. So the backside vision on the backside of your head was just an image to help your mind go, oh, you mean I can be in charge? And then the mind realizes that being in charge was an illusion. It was already happening. Oh, you mean the backside of my body sees as much as the front side when it comes to energy? Yeah. Oh, in order to see out the backside of my body, I don't want you to do this because this would be violence. But if I were to ask you to clench your jaw right now, things would disintegrate. Your backside vision would disintegrate. So the lips stay together and the teeth stay slightly apart. When you realize that you have vision in every direction, maybe it makes your chest smile. Maybe we're back where we started. So I want to balance my head over my neck. I want to lift my chest. I want to allow my vessel to fill from inside to out. I want my emptiness to be full and not just empty. All these things, I want vision in every direction. I don't want the vision. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Damn it. It's going to ring a few times. Okay. In fact, I'm going to go unplug it because it pisses me off so badly right now. It doesn't really piss me off. It actually kind of makes me laugh. I think the gods must be crazy to let the phone ring right there. If you saw that movie, it's like the Coke bottle dropping off the airplane, right? If you haven't seen that movie, you need to. But in order to see in every direction, I actually have to be softer, not harder. But I still need to have structure. I still need to use my attention and my focus. But I need my focus to include the consciousness of my entire body. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh no. So when I realize the wonder of what my nervous system is capable of, I feel like lions and tigers and bears, oh no. But I do it as a song and as a child song. So I don't have to be afraid. I can't believe it. And I want to say, that's exactly right. Your mind had almost nothing to do with it. You don't have to believe it. You have to allow it to be true. Compassion and wonder are sisters. In a space like this, don't let anyone tell you what to think. Don't let them tell you what to do. Good. And then release. And now we're going to do more overt shavasana, because this level of seeing that you have vision in every direction and your nervous system has every cell is awake with the light of life, right? It's a little bit overwhelming. So here comes shavasana. Let something hold you up, right? Your chair, whatever it is. I love that my screen raised my hand this whole class. I had all right. So again, let something hold you up. I find in shavasana most of the time, I like to have my palms up. Although my wrist is so broken, this one doesn't turn as much, but it's because it makes me feel lighter. Apparently, when Buddha's hands are up in the statues that are representing Buddha energy, the palms are up for nonviolence, right? I don't know. Whatever, some artist is feeling something. So I'm gonna let myself get held up. Let my vision return to the earth so it can be supported. Soften the jaw on the inside of the mouth. The skin on the face. Temples. Relax the belly to relax the throat. Add a little bit of gratitude if you're willing. Feel your breath. Don't change it. Thank your body from inside to out. Start to bring yourself back. Slightly deeper inhalation. Slightly longer exhalation. Take the outsides of your mouth and bring them gently towards the ear and open your eyes when you're ready. If it's too bright, you can close them again and open. So I think this is just me, but maybe not. I'm always amazed, and it kind of makes me want to burst out laughing, that I'm in on the secret with the universe. So are you. It's like, yeah, you're a party, a part of, a participant in the most amazing secret that human minds tend to forget. Right? I can't believe I have vision in every direction. I can't believe my skin sees, my body breathes. And if I can allow that without having to think that I have to be worthy by engaging my will, then I see the wisdom of compassion and wonder being sisters. I want my will and I want my effort to show me all the dimensions of it. But that is not the doorway. Not how much you can do. It's how much you can let be true. And I'm telling you, your mind is limiting. Doesn't mean you have to open to a lot of crazy possibilities. It means that you need to let your body teach your mind how to wonder. Right? All right, there's a weird class. That one goes in the record books for my vision out the back of my head. Like, what the hell? And here's the other part of the secret. If it kind of helped your pose and it kind of worked, you should be laughing. It's unbelievable that somebody's saying something. And it was, I remember realizing that I should be looking out of the backside of my head in my yoga practice. And what the hell? Life is strange and it's wonderful. Hands together. Namaste. Spirit in me bows the spirit in you. And for us to realize our potential of our nervous system, we definitely need some goofy descriptions like vision out the back of your head.